This is this is the History Paper Slides project for Mr. Strom. This is the Navigation Act of 1651. Imported goods from Asia and Africa had to arrive from England and colonies in English ships. Imported goods from non-English America had to arrive in England and colonies in English ships. England's American colonies could only export their goods in English ships. Imported goods from Europe had to arrive in England and in their colonies and colonies in either English ships or ships that came from the directing country. Any products from the ocean, cod, fish oil, etc., going to England and colonies must be caught by English ships. English ships were owned by Englishmen, including English colonists, and having over half a crew of Englishmen, including English colonists. Next is the salutary neglect policy of British government from the mid-18th century regarding its North American colonies, under which trade regulation for the colonies were not strictly enforced. Regal supervision from internal colonial affairs was loose as long as the colonies remained loyal to the British government, had to contribute to the economic profitability of England. Proclamation of 1763. King George was in this. Written in 1763. He declared all lands west of the Appalachian Divide off limits to all settlers. Colonists couldn't expand anywhere, and they were locked into one area. They couldn't expand. Sugar Act. Written in 1764. British legislation aimed at ending the smuggling trade of sugar and molasses. Involved with this, the French and Dutch colonies provided increasing revenues to enlarge the British Empire's responsibilities following the French and Indian War. Sons of Liberty. They are John Avery, Henry Bass, Thomas Chase, Thomas Crafts, Stephen Cleverly, Benjamin Eds, Joseph Field, John Smith, and George Trott. These men created freedom within the colonies. Next is the Stamp Act, made in 1765. First internal tax levied on America by the British government. The act imposed a tax on all paper documents in the colonies. It came at a time when the British Empire was in debt from the 7 Years' War. The Quartering Act, made in 1765. The colonists had to house British soldiers or redcoats in barracks. If the barracks were too small for the redcoats, the local inn or bigger houses had to house them. And if they didn't want to help the soldiers, consequences were severe.